morning, everyone. Good afternoon, actually. Good afternoon, everyone. Can I have your attention, please? We would like to start the program. If you can all rise for the national anthems. Thank you. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Now we do the Indian national anthem. जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे Commemorating the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, with his favorite hymn, Vaishnav Jan to Tenir kahiye ji, Peed parai jane re. Noble is the one who understands the pain of others. Noble is the one who doesn't feel egoistic while serving. On behalf of the Indian Embassy, Washington, D.C., Mahavir Vikalang Sahayata Samiti, and Jaipur Foot, USA, I welcome you all to India for Humanity. We would like to start the program with a sitar recital. It's my immense pleasure to introduce a very talented upcoming young artist, Rishabh Rikiram. Rishabh is a disciple of the maestro, Pandit Ravi Shankar. It's his Guru's blessing that Rishabh was selected to play in front of 6,000 people in Howdy Modi,
60,000.
60,000, sorry. Thank you so much. Those are the last minute notes. Accompanying him on tabla is his first guru, I would say, his father, Sri Sanjay Sharma, who himself is a tabla exponent, as well as he's from the famous Rikhiram family in New Delhi. Please.
Namaskar everyone, my name is Rishabh Sharma and Anjali introduced me very nicely, and I would just like to mention my Guruji, Pandit Ravi Shankar, before starting my recital, and also my father, he was my first Guru, and I play a little bit of Gandhiji's favorite bhajan, Vaishnava Janto. Then I have a little surprise for all the people from Rajasthan, and after that I'll play a rag called Pancham Sigara, like 2 minutes each, very keep it short. And after that we'll have some Sawal Jawab, which is like a question and answer and back and forth musical conversation. And I want your blessings, and so if you may allow, I will start.
In fact, the whole scope people are not able to exactly.
Moving on, as chairman of Jaipur Foot USA, Shri Prem Bhandari has taken the Samiti to new arenas and heights under the keen guidance of Shri D.R. Mehtaji. His commitment and dedication has resulted in the establishment of Jaipur Foot USA. He has championed causes for the underprivileged in India. He led many prosthetic camps, out of which 4 were in Mao in Madhya Pradesh, which were inaugurated by none other than Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Mr. Bhandari has been instrumental in arranging for Jaipur Foot historic exhibition and seminar in the UN headquarters in 2018. I would now request him to please come and address.
Thanks for kind words, Geeta ji. I'm a little bit nervous because I don't have a habit to give speech in English. I'm very good at mother tongue, but today I could not practice much, but I have given note from my wife, so I will try to speak in a better way. Excellencies and distinguished guests, I find no words to explain the feeling with me right now, but trying my best, and what an occasion to have this seminar to celebrate the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Under India for Humanity program, on this occasion, I feel proud today to speak on behalf of Jaipur Foot USA at the prestigious Capitol Hill. Inspired by Mahatma Gandhi's vision for humanity, some 4 decades ago, with a simple thought of doing good to the differently abled, our own Padma Bhushan D.R. Mehta Sahib started this mission to serve humanity. It was now turned into an organization which has no geographical boundaries. We have committed ourselves to reach to the needy all around the world and truly make the world one village through our work for humanity. The iconic Jaipur Foot has gone beyond India, and I am very happy to announce that so far our organization, our parent organization, Bhagwan Mahavir Viklang Sahayata Samiti, 1.8 million people in the world have been, differently able people have been benefited in 33 countries through 76 camps. I feel greatly honored and privileged to heartily welcome one and all. I also extend warm welcome to the Yoga Guru, Dr. H.R. Nagendra, and the Chief Financial Officer of the World Bank, Ms. Ansula Kant. I am very grateful to you. You took 15 minutes to postpone all your programs and you are here. Mr. Sanjay, thank you so much. I would like to mention the presence of Dean George Washington Business School, Mr. Anuj Mehrotra. You also changed all your program because I came to you. And who is a strong supporter of our work. I would like to extend heartfelt welcome to Ambassador Satish Mehta, who has been our strong supporter and motivation force for us. Ladies and gentlemen, I have no words to express my gratitude towards Ambassador Harshvardhan Sringla Sahab. His dedication for this noble cause is beyond our thoughts, and it is under his leadership that Embassy of India collaborated with Jaipur Foot for this great occasion. With the blessings from our Honorable Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi Sahib, under the program India for Humanity, we have organized 9 free artificial limb camps across the world. Once again, a very warm welcome to each one of you. Jai Hind. Thank you, Maravi Ambassador, for coming here, even in your country also, under this program. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Premji. We have amongst us Captain Stanley. He's the first Indian American to become captain in NYPD. Prior to this, he was also assigned to the elite counter-terrorism bureau. He is SOS man for our community. We really thank you and would like you to please come up and say a few words.
Thank you so much for this great occasion. And I come in and congratulate the Jaipur Foot, all the authorities of Jaipur Foot, doing this noble work. I had the close association with Mr. Prabhandari. Together we were able to do many things. Middle of the night, if I get a call from Bhandari Saab, I know there is someone in trouble, either here in the United States or back home. So he is completely, he's a close friend of mine for the last more than a decade. And so I'm here to say a few words about this organization as well as the authorities of this organization for doing God's work. So there are so many incidents that took place in our lives that we were able to help many because of Prabhandari Saab. And he dedicated his whole life for this mission. Even before this Jaipur Foot involvement, he was doing this for a long time. And watching him and looking at him, and I, for one, renewed my resolve to help the humanity. So I thank you all for working in this noble cause and making a difference in this world. And what you're doing is God's work. So I pray that the Lord will continue to help this organization to do greater things in the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Stanley. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. These words of Mahatma Gandhi resonate with the founder and patron of Mahavir Vikalang Sahayata Samiti. Shri Devendraj Mehta is a living inspiration to all of us. His dedication, commitment, contribution, and service are unparalleled. Recipient of Padma Bhushan, one of the highest civilian awards, he propagates Gandhian philosophy, ethical leadership, and sustainable social impact on the world. His efforts and services have resulted in rehabilitation of more than 1.7 million amputees and polio victims, as well as free lives in 30 countries. His collaboration with the Stanford University, resulting in new knee joint, is hailed as one of the 50 best inventions of the world by Time magazine. We thank you and we honor you, Mehta Sahab, and I would request you to please address the gathering.
His Excellency, the Ambassador of India to the USA, respected Professor Nagendraji, world-renowned yoga guru, distinguished Excellencies, particularly my distinguished friend Satish Mehta, committed, dedicated team of Jaipur Foot USA, Mr. Bhandari, Mr. Tadda, Manish Tadda, Mr. Bapna, Mr. Chateti, Mr. Golia, and others. Jaipur Foot USA has been helping us in a very big way, enabling us to provide limbs to thousands of people. That is with the support of donors from here, all the distinguished donors, and particularly I would mention Rajiv Daga, Mrs. Nita Daga, and their sons and their entire family. They are the largest donors from the USA to us. Other distinguished friends, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I would like to thank His Excellency, the Indian Ambassador to the US, for organizing this grand function. But for you, this wouldn't have been possible. The other important point which I wish to raise is that Government of India has been so generous, so compassionate. What has Government of India to do with this kind of program? But to celebrate 150th birthday of Mahatma Gandhi. They decided, and particularly the song which was sung, that was the song which Mahatma Gandhi would sing daily in his morning prayer. Vaishnav Janto Tene Kahiye Peer Parai Jane. That inspired Government of India to set up this, because Mahatma Gandhi's focus on Ahimsa was one, and his focus on service was equally important. And to highlight that, this has been done. And the result of this, I'll show you to this presentation, has been so enormous, generated so much of goodwill and faith in the good work. So I'm extremely grateful to the Ministry, Foreign Ministry of India, for taking up this massive program. And it's massive, you can see for yourself. Let me give you some sense of what is Jaipur Foot, what is our society, and also what is Jaipur Foot USA. I'll give a presentation, short one. This is our building. Next one. This is purely humanitarian, no distinction at all. Totally non-sectarian, non-political, international NGO. Next one. Motto is mobility and dignity. Next one. These are our products. This is Jaipur Foot. This is the entire limb. The limb with D. Next one. Let's see this. 1.8 million people have been rehabilitated so far. Jaipur Bhagwan Mahavir Viklang Sahayata Samiti is the parent body of Jaipur Foot. It is the most widely used limb in the world. Time magazine writes this, not me. Main lab for rehabilitation is in India, but we have expanded all over the world. We also conducted 78 camps in 33 countries of Asia, Africa, and Latin America. We'd like to come to the USA, but for the regulatory system, the risk factor, liability issue. And the day we come, all the people in USA also would get limbs. Next is, with the support of donors, we provide these limbs totally and all the other facilities, wheelchairs, hand pedal tricycles, crutches, totally free of charge. Many people argue with us, nothing should be given free. 90% or more of the people who are disabled all over the world are being borderline. If you don't give them free, they never ever in their lifetime would get a limb. I said, how would you survive? We survive because we don't charge. Why are Dagas helping us? Why are great Indian banks, JP Morgan Bank, Deutsche Bank, all sorts of banks, financial institutions, individuals. The smallest donation I got is 2 rupees. The biggest donation I got was 8 to 8 crore. They do it because we do it for free. That's the psyche of the donor. Next one, these are the various things you'll see for yourself. Functionality of Jaipur Foot. Quality is superior, lightweight, flexible, durable. Pass a truck over it, it won't break. Height and size strength, easy to make. You can make a limb in 1 to 3 days. When I was leaving for USA 2 days back, a team from USA had come. It's from the University of Engineering University from San Diego. Professor and 13 experts had come. One of them didn't have the limb. Lost his limb. He was wearing an American limb. Asked him how much did he pay for it. He said $10,000. I said, how much time did it take? 3 months. I said, would you want to get a limb right now? Because I'm here only for 3 hours. I said, we'll try. He got the limb in 3 hours. He ran with that limb. He jumped with that limb. He asked me, what's your cost? $100. That is what is Jaipur Foot. How does it function? Let's see. Next one. Comes on crutches. Next one. Get the limb the same day. He runs. He can cover a kilometer in 4 minutes and few seconds. Next one. Climbs a tree. See the fraction at the ankle. Rides a bicycle. Both limbs gone. Both limbs gone. He got. Hand also gone. Let's see this. Next one. He runs. Skating is the ultimate. Next one. This boy, Rawat, he had done 14 half marathons in Mumbai. And he went to the highest point in Kashmir on a motorbike. Next one. She is the famous Indian dancer, Sudha Chandan. Lost her limb and she wears it and dances vigorously, both Indian and foreign Western dances. Next one. Japanese amputees came. Next one. Next one, the insane fellow. This is a girl from Mozambique. Two Americans brought her there. Got the limb. Went back. She came again to Jaipur to learn how to make a limb. So this lady is now making limbs for other limbless. Cost is about $100. Comparable limb. Below knee is 10,000 US. Above knee is much more. I'm giving the average cost. Average cost in US is also $15,000. Next one. Now we are doing things for free. We are an NGO, but we think that we have a greater responsibility while dealing with the poor. Just because we are giving anything for free doesn't mean that we can pass off anything to them. What do? You must have contacts with the best institutions. Would you believe an NGO having tie-ups? Stanford University of USA, and our Silicon Valley centers around it, having a tie with MIT. I checked up 6 months ago, they invited me for a lecture. I was told that in one single institution, 80 Nobel laureates were there. India got 8 in 110 years. That institution, professor came and he signed an MOU with us. And there are 3 projects with the MIT. I am highlighting Santa Clara University. They are trying to develop a mechanical, myoelectric hand. Stanford developed a knee joint, special knee joint. Time magazine USA had that's called Jaipur knee for bowel knee patients. They need a knee, not knee replacement. Time magazine described this knee joint. You would see that they know page 6. Time magazine USA described this as one of the 50 best inventions of the world for the year 2009. And by now, 17,000 such joints cost it $20. Our emphasis is on frugal engineering. Efficient but frugal. And go back. Cost is $20 and $10,000. They are 500 times cheaper. And perhaps this is the most efficient mechanical knee joint in the world, 4-bar polycentric knee joint. Next one. I told you about MIT. Next one. Santa Clara, I told you. Next one. Our idea is marry service with science. That's the way in which you can help the most poor, most needy. They are entitled to the best of the devices. Next one. Let's see this. Next one. Next one. Yes, please. These are some of the countries where it worked. Next one. Iraq. Let's see the smiles on the faces. An American professor, Rahman Uckermans, who connected me to Stanford, he visited us. He said, this is not about making limbs. I said, what else is it? It is manufacturing smiles. Prime Minister Modi ji went there to see our camp. Next one. President of India went to Manila to see our camp. Recent, this was very recent. Next one. Sri Lanka. Let's see this one. So many ladies. Next one. Pakistan. We have 2 centers in Pakistan. We are partners. And the most respected Indian product in Pakistan is Jaipur. 25,000 people have already received the limb. Next one. This is Afghanistan. No, Pakistan. The earlier one. Afghanistan. 5 times we had camps in Afghanistan. Bombing outside, we had it. We know nobody would kill us. Next one. And a permanent center has been established. Ministry signed an MOU with us. Now this is India for Humanity. I suggest, why don't you come in? No? This program was taken up by the ministry, as I was saying, Foreign Ministry of India. The role of Ambassador Satish Mehta was enormous, very significant. This already, now one more camp has been added. That shows that India is distant from USA. Latest information is 10 camps in 9 countries and 545, and one camp has been started today in Ethiopia. And we are going to Syria. Personally, we will be going, and Uganda. And we are expecting sanctions for Uganda, for Angola, Djibouti, and Myanmar, one more camp, and Peru. Next one. Pardon? Kazakhstan. Next one. Vice President of India. Next one. Myanmar. Just see this. The minister came with a photograph of this boy. He said, my constituency, there's a boy. My birth doesn't have hands or legs. Fitted with limbs. He walks. After 18 years, for the first time, he picked up a glass of water and drank it himself. All of us. That is what is Jaipur Foot. It makes one weep, but those are the tears of joy. Next one. Sushmani, this young girl lost her limb. Walked with her. And that led to the India for Humanity. She came back, organized a function in the embassy, and announced publicly for about 40 ambassadors, 45 ambassadors present. Next one, Malawi. Vice President India went. Next one, Egypt. Next one. You've seen some of the countries, very difficult countries, war-torn countries. But our view is absolutely clear. If we go there, we can go to any remote area, any difficult area, and we will be safe. People will protect us, not kill us. Next one. UN, Mr. Bandari, and for 7 days or 4 days, our product was exhibited in Galleria UN.
7 days. 7 days.
Pardon? 7 days. 7 days. Next one. Just see this. This boy draws lines. Our desire is that these lines should become limbs. Thank you.
Dr. Rekha Bandari, to please. Thank you so much. Another round of applause, please. Thank you so much, Shrimati. His Excellency, Shri Harshvardhan Shringla assumed charge as the youngest ambassador of India to the United States. He received a rousing welcome at the congressional reception attended by unprecedented 67 members of the US Congress. Shows his popularity here. As India's ambassador to the United States of America, Ambassador Shringla had been promoting ties between India and US. He also gets the credit for making Prime Minister Modi's visit to the United States a great success, where Prime Minister Modi addressed a crowd of 50,000 people, one of the largest gatherings to honor a visiting foreign leader since the Pope. Ambassador Shringla has been a big supporter of Jaipur Foot USA and has attended the organization events in New York too. We welcome you, sir, and would request you to please come and say a few words. Thank you.
Namaskar and good evening. It is fitting that the commemorative event on India for Humanity, role of Jaipur Foot, is being held at the most prestigious venue in the United States of America, at the Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. It is also relevant to note that today's function is being held as part of the 150th birth anniversary celebrations of Mahatma Gandhi. And as has been pointed out before, this is also a part of the India for Humanity initiative that has been launched by the Ministry of External Affairs. It is a brainchild of our former minister, late Minister Srimati Sushma Swaraj. And it was her idea that the India for Humanity initiative should be held in honor of the service of Mahatma Gandhi to humanity. And I think we're very happy that on this very important occasion we've had some very special dignitaries and guests from India. Of course, you just heard Dr. D.R. Mehta, who is the founder and chief patron of Jaipur Foot, recipient of India's highest civilian award, the Padma Shri, the Padma Bhushan. Dr. Mehta is a retired Indian Administrative Service official, but he has also been Deputy Governor of the Reserve Bank of India, has been Chairman of the Securities and Exchange Board of India, had a very distinguished career before he took on the role of serving humanity, and we haven't looked back since. Thank you for your presence, sir. I would also like to acknowledge Guruji, Dr. H.R. Nagendra, who is from the Vivekananda Yoga Anusandhan Sansthan, and who has graced us today with his presence. He is the Chancellor of S. Vyasa, which is a deemed university. I think very few of us would know that he's actually had a long association with not just the United States, but with the cutting-edge research in the space sector. He's been a trained engineer in the aeronautical field and has served as a postdoctoral research fellow in the University of British Columbia in Canada and in NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center in USA. And of course, he moved on to the Engineering Science Laboratory in Harvard University and subsequently visiting staff at the Imperial College of Science and Technology in London. In his own words, he has moved from mechanical engineering to human engineering. And I think he has contributed greatly from the field of yoga to the field of humanity. Thank you for your presence, Guruji. I would be remiss if I did not mention my own close friend and colleague, Master Satish Mehta. We started our careers together as young officers in the Indian Foreign Service, and he has held many very important positions in the government of India. He continues to serve causes that he is committed to. One of them is the promotion of the Jaipur Foot and the India for Humanity initiative, of which, as Mehta Sahab mentioned, he has been the prime mover. But he has also, we've also worked closely on another very important venture, which is the promotion of energy efficiency in India. Here, I think the use of LED bulbs and LED lighting in India, which has been popularized through very innovative systems. And if I had time, I'd love to speak on that. But this is an area that we work together, and I think it's a very important initiative in terms of what we're trying to do in India to reduce dependence on fossil fuels and inefficient uses of energy. I would like to, of course, needless to mention, if there is anyone who is associated with the success of this event today, it is Prem Bhandari Sahab, who is the chairman of Jaipur Foot USA. He has worked tirelessly to promote this cause, and I have not seen someone who's as driven as he has, moving from different parts of the United States within India, doing things, holding camps in India and organizing support for the Jaipur Foot initiative, which has been, I think, quite unparalleled in many ways. And it is his drive and his push that has got us all here. And I think we have to give credit where it is due. And thank you very much. Not just for bringing us within the ambit of this very, very worthwhile initiative, of which we are, I mean, deeply honored, I must say, to be part of this. But also, I think, to ensure that this event has got the platform and the recognition that it deserves. By the event, I mean the popularization of the work that is being done through Jaipur Foot in the United Nations and now in the capital here. Thank you, Premji. And of course, Mrs. Mehta and other members of the family who are also here with you. I would like to acknowledge the presence of our other very distinguished guests and my colleagues from Diplomatic Corps. We have with us the Ambassador of the Republic of Nepal, Dr. Arjun Kumar Karti. We have Ambassador Edward Yabobe Saverengera from the Republic of Malawi. Thank you for your presence, sir. We have Representative Robert Lancia of Rhode Island, who's always been a very strong supporter of the India-US partnership. Thank you for being with us, Representative. I'd also like to acknowledge the presence of other dignitaries, Chief Economists from the World Bank, the Dean of the Graduate Business School of George Washington University, Captain Stanley of the NYPD, who we have also been in association with, and all of our other friends who are here today to commemorate what is quite an extraordinary event and function. I think we have got a very good idea of what Jaipur Foot represents, I don't want to repeat what has been said, but what is important is that under the India for Humanity initiative, the whole idea was to see how we could link what is already a very, very noble cause to the 150th anniversary commemoration and support what is, I think, a worthwhile initiative. I mean, it is one thing to hold events to commemorate the 150th anniversary as in functions. It's another thing to do something on the ground. And what we have chosen to do is something which is discernible, which impacts in the lives of people, which enables us to work with our friends and partners all over the world, and which is in keeping with our larger spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is one family. And I think here, is where India for Humanity has been very successful, and we're so glad that so many of our colleagues from the Diplomatic Corps are here, because the BMVSS held camps in several places, including in Vietnam, Iraq, Malawi, Nepal, Senegal, Tanzania, Egypt, Namibia, and Bangladesh. And out of the 1.8 million limbs that have been fitted, in recent months, at least 5,152 limbs were fitted under the India for Humanity initiative. And the focus today is, of course, on the activities of Jaipur Foot as part of our diplomatic initiatives. And of course, personally, I have seen as High Commissioner of India to Bangladesh a number of camps that we have done there. I've been present when a young teenage girl who had an accident, lost her foot, was first fitted with her limb. And the sheer expression of, I would say, joy on her face is one of the rare, I would say, occasions in one's life when you see something that evokes so much hope and optimism in people. And of course, we've also, I've also been able to, as I said, the associated functions that commemorated the event, the Jaipur Foot initiative in New York, which was organized by Premji recently. And of course, when you talk about Mahatma Gandhi, when we look at the fact that his contribution to human development is something that is well known globally. The world does recognize him as a far more compelling social innovator than humanity ever realized. It's fitting that we have associated these two events together. It's also, I thought it's relevant to mention that on the 2nd of October, which is the birthday of Mahatma Gandhi, it's exactly the 150th anniversary of his, that was celebrated in this very area in the Capitol Hill in the Library of Congress. and both the Senate and the House introduced resolutions commemorating the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. And the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi herself, graced this function to commemorate this important event. I want to end by saying that although this event has been extraordinary in recognizing where we are, a lot of effort has gone into it. Premji and his team has worked with us very closely and seamlessly. And some of my colleagues, I always say that I'm happy to take credit for everything the embassy does, but I must admit that the work really comes in from my colleagues, Deputy Chief of Mission, Master Amit Kumar, we have Councillor Swami, we have First Secretary Dr. Thelma John, we have First Secretary Shambhu Hasi, and many of our other officers and other colleagues who have worked to make this event a worthwhile one. And I want to once again end by saying how deeply touched I was to see Mehta Sahab's presentation. I think it is really something extraordinary. We do many, as diplomats, we are associated with many events, but not all of them are as noble or as moving in sheer personal terms as the one that we have been associated with today. And I thank you and all your colleagues for what you have done for the service of humanity in the service of our nation. Thank you very much.
I would request Mr. Shringla to, if you can please come for a minute, and I would request Ms. Geeta Datta to please honor him with applause. Thank you, Mr. Shringla. Yoga is a journey of the self, through the self, to the self. Dr. H.R. Nagendra is a mechanical engineer, yoga therapist, academic, writer, and the founder of Swami Vivekananda Yoga Anusandhan Sanstha, located in Bengaluru. Dr. Nagendra has published 30 books on yoga, co-authored 50 research papers on yoga, and has presented 60 papers on yoga therapy in major conferences around the world. He was awarded Yoga Shri in 1977 by the Ministry of Health. Government of India awarded him Padma Shri, one of the highest civilian awards for his contribution to the society. Dr. Nagendra is consultant to Prime Minister Modi and has been called to provide training to the officials serving under Prime Minister Modi in New Delhi. It's our pleasure to have you here, sir. Please, I would request you to please come up and say your words.
My dear brothers and sisters, what a delight to see the celebration of 150th birthday of Mahatma Gandhi being celebrated in this very unique way. As he always was supportive of India for humanity, the wonderful work that Mehtaji and Prem Bhandarji have been done throughout the world is something remarkable and fantastic. Could we say congratulations? We say we are grateful to you for the grand work that you have been doing. And we should congratulate our Ambassador, Harshvardhanji, for organizing this very unique function in this capital. It is the most important part of this country, and see that this takes a big role in expanding this great vision of Mahatma Gandhi. I was always fascinated with Mahatma Gandhi's very unique approach in bringing independence to our country. Satyagraha. It is one of the yama in the yoga. Yama, Niyama, Forum, the two foundations of yoga. Ahimsa, Satya, Steya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha, Yamaha, as Patanjali says. Ahimsa and Satya are the two foundations of yoga. Many people think yoga is some sort of a physical exercise, but far from it, it is a life of holistic living. Therefore, he used this aspect of Satya and Ahimsa to bring the freedom in the country. It's something very unique. No country could ever imagine that such a thing can happen in the world at large. So therefore, he was the greatest practitioner of yoga in real sense and brought yoga to the greater front. And our Prime Minister has been therefore promoting yoga in a very big way. And it's so fascinating to know that the International Day of Yoga on June 21st, which was suggested by him, got such a support from nearly 183 countries, and June 21st has been made the International Day of Yoga. And the celebrations go on and on every year with more and more participation. And how to celebrate that? He asked all the yoga masters to come together to form a yoga protocol. A very special yoga protocol of 35 minutes was developed with the help of all the yoga experts in the country, and it consists the holistic vision of yoga, which he nicely brought out in his talk. Jnana Yoga, Raj Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, the path of intellect, the path of emotion, the path of willpower, and path of action. All these things have been put forth in a very intelligent, very subtle way in this 35 minutes protocol, which everybody can do. A child to the most elderly, they can all do this practice. In the first year, when we had this thing, big program in the country, almost about 75 lakhs of people did that. Then year after year, last year our target was 30 crores and we reached almost 25 crores of people practicing this protocol on June 21st. And for the next year we have target of 50 crores, and the PM has been promoting that in a very big way in all ministries. He says it go to every village, and that's how we are trying to do that. Then it should not be one day celebration, he said, it should go into the education system itself. And therefore the NCTE, the NCRT and the UGC all came forward to bring the necessary syllabus of the holistic vision of yoga to be brought into the education system. Unless it goes into the education system, yoga cannot become a living reality at large. And all this thing has been done again with the help of all the yoga masters in the country, whether it's Swami Ramdev, or Shri Ravi Shankar, or Jaggi Vasudev, or all top 18 yoga universities and institutions and things. And we have been promoting essentially the research dimensions of yoga, to bring research. Swami Vivekananda said you have to combine the best of the East with the best of the West. And that's what we have been doing. The traditional grand vision of yoga and spirituality has to be combined with modern scientific research. And our university is known for research, and we have published nearly 700 research papers in the field of yoga, bringing the evidence base. Today we are in the age of science and technology. We want everything to be handled by evidence. Only then it can be happening. And using that, we have been able to bring the specialized yoga modules to deal with this modern challenger of stress and the stress-related ailment like NCDs, non-communicable diseases. One side we have the Jaipur Foot as the greatest contribution, but our Prime Minister said we have another big challenge in the country, that is diabetes. Diabetes is soaring high and we are racing against China to become #1 in the world, he said. We have to prevent that. In the second thing, he gave a direction that we have to contain this diabetes. It cannot be happening only by government efforts. It should be a combination of the people at large in the yoga field and also the government. Therefore, we took up this challenge and we did in 60 districts, 2.5 lakh people were screened and the prevalence was established, and we gave 3 months of yoga practice with all the detailed research things that are needed, using the expertise from the board of researchers from all over the world and also from India. And using that, we brought out the wonderful research, and the things have come up so nicely that yoga can be a great redeemer to contain diabetes in the world at large. So we have dealt with nearly 5 lakhs of people in the right field and see that it comes up in a very nice way. And now it has been made as a national program to use that special protocol that was developed and see that it goes throughout the country to see that it comes up. Prevention is more important, we say. Prevention is better than cure. But how much do we really believe in that? If you look at the budget of any country, it's hardly 1%. And it is very necessary that we have to bring enough money to prevent diseases. Therefore, we have been promoting this in the Planning Commission with the Niti Aayog coming up and the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare in our country. Nadaji announced that yes, we have to bring in this, and we are starting 150,000 wellness centers throughout the country. And each PHC will have 2 or 3 wellness centers in the country, in which the prevention is the most important. Prevention and promotion of positive health. In this, yoga plays a very important role, and the Ayush ministry is coming forward to see that we combine allopathy with Ayush system to see that prevention takes place. This is very, very important. And what next? The Prime Minister gave the direction for this year. It is the hypertension and the cancer. And we are going to track 100 districts with 2 crores of people being scanned this year. And we have the prevention by the awareness program, randomized control trials, and mechanism study, and also to bring palliative care in every hospital that we want. Unfortunately, in our country, the support system for the palliative care is very, very meager. We have just 0.4% of the people who have palliative care access, and therefore it is very necessary we have to bring. So I have been appealing to all the hospitals, at least we must have 10 beds in every hospital, and therefore everybody has agreed, why 10, we can even 50, 20 we can have, but we need a lot of personnel. For that we have to train the people at the consultation level, specialist level, super specialist level, IAS level, and nurses level. We have to train them. Therefore, our university is heading forward to do this by the digital mode, online digital learning, and our university has gone to category 1 and and we have given the mandate to see that we can spread this through the digital mode. So that's what we are doing through the country. And this diabetic project we took in India also, we had the initial studies here in Houston and Los Angeles and other places. Here also we got good results, and we want to bring this dimension to this country if there is a need, and if you all cooperate together, we can bring this diabetes protocol to be brought here in this country. To make this possible, I've been thinking we should have a university here, and now we have applied for the BPPA for getting the license, and over the last 3-4 years we completed all the formalities. Just day before yesterday when we landed, the BPPA Tony has said yes, now it is getting a reality, and soon we are going to start this in California, Vivekananda University. And bring all the knowledge base of Indian role of yoga at the bachelor degree, master degree, doctoral program, and certificate program, and see that the holistic vision of yoga can be brought here to aid and to deal with NCDs, non-communicable diseases like asthma, diabetes, hypertension, heart problem, epilepsy, migraine, irritable bowel syndrome, cancer, and all such things which are becoming the biggest challenge and consuming so much of a financial exchequer in the country. And this here, India can become the leader to see that this becomes possible. And therefore, on this occasion, I congratulate all of you for celebrating Mahatma Gandhi's thing in such a wonderful way. And we should go ahead to see that the humanity, India for humanity, should grow further, and our contribution from India to this country to become more and more. We have a galaxy of such great medical experts who are moving towards this integrative system to bring in Ayush system along with the modern medicine, and it has to be combined together to make this possible. Because no one single system can deal with this modern NCDs, because it's a multi-dimensional challenge that we are facing. It should be a pluralistic system that we have to do, and that integration is most important. And that's what we are now trying to do with the evidence base. Once again, I congratulate you for organizing this, and as you rightly said, it's all Prem Bhandari's hard work and wonderful work that you have been doing. And Mehtaji, as the promoter of this thing, we marvel at you, Mehtaji, for his things, and the galaxy of people who have been working with you. I congratulate all of them and place a grateful thank to everyone. Dhanyavad.
I would request at this time we have some distinguished guests here amongst us, and we would like to honor them. We have His Excellency, Ambassador Nepal, Mr. Arjun Kharki, and I would request Mr. Manoj Gupta. Please. Thank you so much for being here. Next we have GCM from Iraq, Mr. Jafar Jalil. No, sorry about that. Then we have Her Excellency, Ambassador of Afghanistan, Mrs. Roya Rahmani. Ms. Roya. Next we have His Excellency, Mr. Anthony Philip Spencer from Trinidad and Tobago. We have His Excellency Malawi, Mr. Edward Yakobe Sevarangarena. We have among us Shri Satish Mehtaji. I would like to honor you, sir, for all your hard work and your contribution. Please, can we have the We have Dean from George Washington University. I've just given the name, I apologize. I'm so sorry about that. You would like to honor you, sir? We have CFO from World Bank. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And yes, I cannot forget that because I had it before others, was Mr. Lencia from Rhode Island. Thank you so much, sir. We thank each and every one of you for being here, for helping us in every way you could. Amongst us is also GC himself. So please, I'm so sorry, I apologize for the mix-up. We really thank your presence here, sir. So now I would request Ambassador Shringla, Shri D.R. Mehta, Mr. Prem Bhandari, and Dr. H.R. Nagendra to please come on stage as we have to give the Lifetime Achievement Awards to some of the contributors and helpers. Dr. C.K. Bansali and Mrs. Sharda Bansali have been the biggest donors to Mahavir Vikalang Sahayata Samiti in Jaipur Foot. We acknowledge them, their contribution. Simple, grounded, committed are the terms synonymous with Mr. Rajiv and Mrs. Nita Tata. Jaipur Foot USA from 2014, Tatas have contributed over $1 billion to the organization system. We thank you. Mr. Kanak and Mrs. Prabha Golia have been associated with Mahavir Vikalang Sahayata Samiti since 1975. In 2011, Mrs. and Mr. Golia, along with Mr. Prem Bhandari and Mrs. Dr. Rekha Bhandari, sponsored the prosthetic camp in Kota, Rajasthan for local as well as for the people around Kota. In 2018, Mrs. and Mr. Golia sponsored a prosthetic camp in Nakoda, Rajasthan, where over 3,000 people benefited from the service. We thank you for your commitment, sir. The biggest contribution of Mr. Ramesh Bhatia is he gave Mr. Prem Bhandari to the Jaipur Foot. Mr. Bhatia and Mr. Bhandari are business partners. Yes, for the last few years, Mr. Bhatia is solely taking care of the business so that Mr. Bhandari can concentrate on the growth of Jaipur Foot USA. Mrs. Lata and Mr. Ramesh Bhatia, along with Dr. Rekha Bhandari and Mr. Prem Bhandari, has been the biggest sponsors of camp in Mao, Madhya Pradesh. Mr. Rajiv Bambari and Mr. Deepak Ujjwal joined them there too. A special mention of Mr. Golia and Mr. Bhandari's son here, who came all the way from New York to attend and participated in this camp. And around 1,000 people benefited from this. Thank you. Captain Stanley is the first Indian American to become captain in NYPD. I may be repeating myself. And we welcome you. We thank you so much for all your services, sir. And along with his wife, Veena George. Thank you. Ashok and Nirmala Sancheti have been active part of Jaipur Foot USA, Mr. Sancheti being the advisor of the organization. They have been instrumental in bringing Akshay Patra to New York. They also participated in Shantivan tree planting. Learning, earning, returning have been their philosophy in life. We thank and honor their noble thought and contribution. Mr. Rajinder Bafna is the secretary of the organization. Him and his wife, Mrs. Suman Bafna, who was helping me here, are associated with the Jaipur Foot USA since 2014. A speech at their Jain temple about Jaipur Foot inspired and prompted them to support and contribute. Since then, they have been working tirelessly towards growth. We thank and honor your dedication and commitment. And now, we would like to give the Lifetime Achievement Award, India for Humanity, to none other than our Honorable Ambassador, Sri Harshvardhan Shringla.
One friend to another friend.
I should mention this. We have two very modest people here, and I associate with both of them, with Ambassador Shringla for ever since we have been in service. He's the one who planned for the Bangladesh camp, got executed after the camp. Very modestly remained silent about it. And about the Guruji, when we were doing the international day of yoga, and I had done that as the DGICCR, it was very difficult to get to agree to the 35-minute protocol. I'm not sharing state secret. And all the gurus and the extraordinary gurus, they were having difficulties in coming to an agreement on what to do in 35 minutes. And we turned to him and we said, "No, you handle them. And you give us a settled protocol." I think in 2 sittings he was able to solve it. All 35-minute protocol was his protocol. That's all contributed to it, but we very modestly avoided saying that he actually coordinated for us.
I would like to add that in reference to Bangladesh, school camp already been held at the India for Humanity. Another camp put by local meeting.
Yes,
But the MEA camp, the initial one, it got done only
All that I tell you, for 1 year, 1,500 people. You believe nobody in the world can fit 1,000 people in India.
Then 2.5 months will be 1,400. And they want a command center. So hopefully.
Let me say another thing about this. I forgot to mention the great contribution of Jaipur Foot USA. They collect so much money for us. You believe the administrative work of the international organization for 60% of the administrative work. Their cost is zero.
Excellency did all the work.
Excellency told in New York, 6 months earlier, he mentioned in his speech.
Not a single penny goes to the administrative.
And such a dedicated and
They all give the administrative cost.
generous team, both combination of both. Mr. Teti, Mr. Golia, all these people. And so we just get a call. We never ask them for money. They tell us, we have collected so much money already.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Please give them a big round of applause. And at this time, I would request Mr. Ashok Sancheti to please come for the parting remarks.
Good evening and namaskar. I am here to give thanks to everyone, all our esteemed guests who has taken out time in the weekdays, middle of the day, to come all the way to US Capitol Hill. Especially our thanks goes to His Excellency, our popular ambassador, Mr. Singla, also DCM to the mission, Mr. Amit Kumar, all the staff of the embassy who has worked day and night. With their help, this program was put together for Jaipur Foot in US Capitol. The staff of this House of Representative building, they worked very hard. They helped with the embassy staff to everything to make in the proper way. Would like to thank very much for our international guest who flew all the way, Guruji H.R. Nagendraji, also D.R. Mehta Sahab, Satish Mehta Sahab, and all the people who flew from out of town or they drove to out of town. We really give big thanks from bottom of our heart from Jaipur Foot to all of you to take us time out to come and attend this program. This program will take Jaipur Foot to a new destination, and it will be all over the world with the help of Government of India, with our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi ji, and all the ambassadors around the world in different countries. We are already to 33 countries. We have, I think, 192 countries in the world. So slowly and step by step, we're going to reach to each and every country. That's our dream, that Jaipur Foot will be there one day. Thank you for coming. We have snacks and some drinks. Please enjoy. Thank you.
My apologies again. Before we move, I would like to acknowledge, being a singer myself, I mean, you will excuse me, I really want to acknowledge our young one here, Rishabh Rikiram. He is awesome, awesome, awesome. May there be many, many more from you. And I would request at this time, I would request Sanjay. Thank you so much. I would request Yogacharya, Dr. Dayashankar Vidyalanka. So, आप अगर समाप्त करें अपनी ढंग से, I would really like that.
आदरणीय एम्बेसडर हर्षवर्धन सिंगला जी, श्री डॉक्टर H.R. नागेंद्र जी, सभी सम्मानित महानुभाव, मैं वेद मंत्रों से समापन करूंगा। अभी योग की बात गुरुजी कर रहे थे। अथर्ववेद में एक मंत्र है, अष्ट चक्रा नव द्वारा देवा नामपुर्योध्या तस्यांग हिरण्य कोश तपसा ज्योतिषावृत। जो अयोध्या नगरी का नाम अयोध्या पड़ा था, जिसको कोई जीत न सके, इसलिए और उसका आधार यम नियम आसन प्राणायाम ये मंत्र का आधार रहा है। और इसी कारण से सारे संसार में जो मानवता के लिए कार्य हो रहा है अहिंसा के विषय पे, तो मैं वेद मंत्रों से समापन करता हूँ। ओम स्वस्ति नो इंद्रो बृहस्रवः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्ताक्षो अरिष्ठनेमि स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। संसार के समस्त प्रकार के सुखों का आधार वेद है, और इसलिए भारत सरकार ने हमको भी न्यूयॉर्क में योग और इंडियन कल्चर के लिए नियुक्त किया है, तो हम सबके लिए मंगल कामना करते हैं कि परमात्मा सबको सभी प्रकार के सुख समृद्धि देवे। धन्यवाद।
In every program there is little bit of mishap, and I completely apologize for that, with the last minute chits coming from everywhere for certain things. I completely forgot, and this is because he's my co-host. He's an excellent poet himself, and his little poetry, 1 minute, 2 minutes, if you can bear with us, please. He writes so beautiful. I had him down, and Ashokji, my sincere apology. I would like you to please.
See, Gandhi taught us to forgive, and that's what I did. And I wanted to begin by translating the name of Harshji, which is happiness or joy, and then Premji, which is love. And in the spirit of love and joy, and skipping all the wonderful names of Mehtaji, Nagendraji, and everyone, I have a very short poem. And Gandhiji would be annoyed if I don't share it, so that's why. It was written on 2nd October, and Premji said we should have a translation also. So I'll seek forgiveness from all of you. I'll have one Hindi line, one English quick, so that we can move towards the breakfast. First thing, in the presence of Nagendra ji, let me take a deep breath. कल गांधी जी सपने में आए. Yesterday Gandhi ji appeared in my dream. गोल चश्मे के पीछे आंखों मुस्कुराए. Smiled silently behind round framed glasses. साधन की शुद्धि पर चर्चा हुई. बापू ने सत्य अपनाने के कई उपाय बताए. He discussed about purity of means and conveyed methods of adopting truthful conduct. सच्चा हो जो आत्म दृष्टि से जीवन सजाए. He is truthful who builds his life with soulful vision. सच्चा हो जो दिखावे से बच पाए. He is truthful who saves himself from exhibitionism. सच्चा हो जो हार जीत से परे अपने होने का उत्सव मनाए. He is truthful who is unaffected by victory or defeat, celebrates the joy of his being. गांधी जी चलते चलते खिलखिलाए. Walking away with laughter, गांधी जी said, देखो दुनिया तुम्हें पहचान पाए या गलत समझती जाए. Look, world may understand or misunderstand you. साहस रखना. सत्य पथ से कोई हिला न पाए. Be courageous. May nobody shake you from the path of truth. I dedicate this to Jaipur Foot, and it was important for me to share my feelings. Thank you very much.
Now only just 25 minutes we have, so please.